We are currently doing the 18th PGA podcast. Welcome, everybody, because this is literally like number 18. This is insane. But today we actually have a basketball celebrity who's also a gamer. He's also a gamer, guys. So I'm just going to say that we're going to be asking mostly gaming questions today. But we also have the Kinguin's King Awards, which we're going to be announcing the winners for that today, too. But we are joined by someone I think you'll enjoy this. I think you'll absolutely enjoy this because this is a very different like PJ podcast today. This is very, very different. But we're gonna be announcing the Kinguin's King Awards today too. So just keep that in mind. Stay in channel. But if you've never been here before, you've never been to my channel, welcome in. I'm Queenie. I host the PJ podcast every 2 months, talking about gaming, streaming, anime, and just a load of other things as well. We talk about ADHD, but generally it's a huge community where we just play loads of games, talk about anime, loads of other things as well. So if you haven't, make sure you check out the challenge up on Discord. But also, I'm going to be introducing the lovely, and I think this is going to be mostly gaming questions. I know some of you are basketball fans, but just we're keeping it more towards gaming for this podcast. But we're going to be announcing our celebrity guest and because you've just retired as well. You retired last year, if I'm correct on that as well. But we're going to be talking to the Polish Hammer. I think I should introduce you as that as well, because that is actually a cool name. We actually discussed this earlier in my channel and just said, like, what a cool name. What a gamer name as well. It's perfect for that. But I'll announce you by your proper name as well, which is Marcin Gortat as well. So thank you so much for jumping on today.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and also my accent is very fast. So just so you know, I know you're used to American accents, but my Irish one is very fast. So I will slow down a little bit. But thank you so much for jumping on. If you don't know who Marcin is, he is a ex-player for the Phoenix Suns, Washington Wizards, and currently you coach for them as well. You're an assistant coach for them right now, player development assistant, right?
Yes, as you mentioned before, I finished last year actually. I actually realized that after 12 years being an NBA, it's I actually enjoy my free time, I actually enjoy my retirement. And to be honest with you, I rather just sit at home, be able to go to the restaurant at any time, and actually I want to be able to go and sit down in front of my computer and just play. I really enjoyed that part of my life.
That was what I was going to ask you: PC or console games?
PC, definitely.
Oh,
Well, now PC. Before, when I was in the league, I was actually more PlayStation guy because obviously it was easy to carry PlayStation. And as a rookie, I had a duty to carry PlayStation for the older veterans. So, oh my God, it's unbelievable how much time I spent to carry PlayStation and connect that PlayStation to all different TVs in all different hotels all over the world. It was crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a lot of people are going to love you for that because, like, for example, a lot of the people that are going to be watching are probably PC, but there's a load who love PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox. So gaming is huge. And I think a lot of people more recently than not have sort of realized that it's not just, the typical nerd. It's the athlete as well that plays games like to wind down and relax. But we'll jump back into a bit more of a question talk. I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite game of all time? Now this can be like recent or that can be from years ago, but what's your favorite?
My favorite game of all time. Well, I grew up playing games like Diablo, Age of Empire. Recently, I've played a lot. 7 Days to Die. It was a kind of survival game. Actually, I'll probably say that 7 Days to Die. I probably reached the level of expert at this point. I love games like Shogun, Total War. I'm a big fan of strategy games. A big freak about the strategy games. StarCraft. I love StarCraft too.
Yes.
And recently, I've been playing a lot of CS:GO, but like more focus on CS:GO from the point where I'm actually learning from the pros. I actually hire a pro to give me like a private lesson how to throw the right grenades, what's the right angles and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm really into it. Like, uh, and and to be honest with you, like there's a curse about my name because every time when I'm going, I want to play game with either CS:GO or like Warzone. I want to play game. All the top players like, hey, let's play together. All the streamers in Poland like, hey, let's play together. But the problem is these guys they have like 4, 5, 6,000 hours in those games, and I'm like, I'm pretty much new to the game, so it's a huge difference, the skill level difference, and I'm struggling big time. So at some point, it's not even fun for me to play.
That makes a lot of sense, especially when it is like FPS games or games that have a lot of esports presence. It
Right.
is a bit more difficult to get into. So the fact that you've actually got like a pro helping, I feel like that's very what was because you've been a coach and you've been an athlete player. I think that's very much a sports thing to do. That it makes sense
But
for esports as well. So
I mean, listen, this, like, if I go to practice, back in the day when I play in the league, which I finished playing in the league 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago. So when I was starting in the league, obviously, gaming was big, but when we had young guys coming into the team, and you talk to them what you do in your off time, they will say like, oh, I was just running to the clubs, enjoy my life, I spend time with family and stuff like that. But now when I went back to the NBA as assistant coach, I'm telling my big man, all right, big man, let's do extra workout, we just finished practice, let's do extra workout. And like, nah, actually, I'm about to stream. I'm like, what do you mean stream? Like, we need to work on your technique under the basket, we need to work on your game. Like, yeah, I will work on my game, but on a PC. So next thing you know, the guy goes home and he's about to stream. So I'm sitting in the arena and I'm actually playing I'm turning the iPad. I see him sitting in front of the computer, which is crazy. But I was like, God, like, my man, you're making millions playing basketball. Like, what are you doing in front of PC right now?
it correlates. People like it. Like it's another sport in a weird way. It's obviously not like you don't have to be as fit. I would say for like compared to what you guys do for basketball, you have to keep in shape.
Right.
You have to keep like a certain diet. In esports, you don't have to do that really. Like it's a bit of a different skill where you're trying to get your reactions and you need to learn the maps and things like that. So it's a bit of a different scenario. But
But
again,
I would say, you know what? As a guy who loves to sit, and I love to sit, there are at times I sit 8, 10 hours in front of the PC. Like after 5, 6 hours, you really need to take a quick 5, 10 minute walk outside because your brain is just, is melting. If you
yeah.
playing shooting games and you really need to refresh, at times you really need to go outside and just catch a fresh air and like, listen, just see the daylight, and then come back and play again. But uh, the really true pro players, gaming pro players, they are doing a lot of workouts. I know them for a fact. They are working out a lot in order to be good and in order to be professional.
Would it be something that you would consider going into, like esports yourself, or?
Well, so I actually own esport league in
Mm,
Poland. We do have regular competition every year. We actually do have 5 games that we have: CS:GO League, we have Valorant game, we have F1 simulator, and we have a FIFA league also. And the fifth one was a smaller game. I don't remember from top of my head now, but the first four, we have a league in the past 3, 4 years, and we are creating content. We're creating a competition for a lot of good teams in Poland. I personally would love to join them and play, but like I said, I'm just not good enough, and it looks hilarious. Like, it's really not fun to get your ass whooped every time when you play. So like I have girls like 18 years old girls kicking my ass. So it's like it's really not fun, you know.
It's okay. It's like I listen. I've been streaming for 10 years now, and there is kids that are joining. Let's say I'm playing, I don't know, Battlefield or COD or even Fall Guys,
Right.
and they will come in and they'll literally destroy me in those games. They'll be so fast. Like reaction speed is insane.
Unbelievable. Right.
Makes you
I
feel
agree.
so old in it. It's crazy, but it's nice
Right.
to
Right.
see everybody growing up with it now as well. It's really cool. So I gotta say, like gaming is definitely it's an escape, but it's also cool to see the sports side like take
Mhm.
off as well. Definitely. What was your first console, by the way? Do you remember? Like, did you like what age were you when
Oh,
you got into gaming?
uh, so I obviously when when I was raised, born and raised in Poland, and you know, I was playing most. I started with the soccer, then I went into basketball. Uh, my brother had a PlayStation. I think it was a PlayStation One. Then it was the PlayStation Gray, I think, and then obviously PlayStation started coming up with another level of the PlayStation. But throughout my career, I had all different PlayStation. Matter of fact, they were giving them to me, and I was like, I got no time to play those games. Listen, I have practice. I gotta get ready for the game. Like I had no time. I had really no time to do too many games. But later, when I finished playing basketball, I will say that gaming helped me to keep my mind right. I would say because I ain't gonna lie, there was a time when I could like kind of fall into a depression. Like I was depressed, like because you know you finish playing basketball after 12 years, and all of a sudden your phone is not ringing, nobody's calling you. Like, hey, you gotta be at the practice, you gotta get ready for the game, you gotta catch the plane because we gotta fly over there and play game. Uh, so all of a sudden I got all this free time and I gotta do something with it. So the gaming actually helped me to keep my keep my head right. And I I bought a PC. I bought a PC, and I've seen your set. I really thought my setup was great, but before we start the podcast, I've seen your setup, girl. Oh my God!
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
nuts.
mean, you are like from different planet. Like you are alien to me.
Thank
Like
you.
seriously. Like your stuff is just ridiculous. I have a feeling like besides the computers, like all the stuff you have around, it's unbelievable. And like I said, I felt like I have a great setup here. I have three screens and you know a lot of lights above me. I have the I can even try to show you. Hopefully, I'm not
Oh
gonna screw
yes,
up my
see it.
camera. Like I got all the stuff above me. I got
Oh, I
all
love
this.
that.
Yeah, so I got like all the different stuff. So again, I even got the green screen behind me because I was thinking like one day maybe I'm gonna stream, but actually I got no time for that now. Uh, but again, answering your question, yeah, I as soon as I finished playing basketball, I bought a PC. But before that, I was more PlayStation guy.
That's nuts. Do you know what? There's a lot of people who don't move from one to the other, but you've actually went out of your way and been like, do you know what? I'm gonna get a PC. I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna get the full gaming experience. Like it
Right? No.
makes sense. I love the lights you have on the roof. I don't know what they are, but that's really cool.
Yeah, I had actually a partner. I had a partner. He was actually installing. He had an installation of the ceiling. He was doing all different shades, colors, and different lights. And I told my wife, I said, "Listen, the cave is my cave. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do here. Like I'm gonna build this thing my way." So, yeah, I said like, freaking, I want to have a sky like that out of nowhere, and and I just have it.
You're giving me ideas. That's what's going to happen the next time. If you ever come back on this podcast, I'm going to have the ceiling full of that. That's going to be it. That's my next idea.
Love it, love
I'm
it,
stealing
love
it
it,
from you. I'm sorry.
love it.
So obviously you went from like PlayStation to PC. Is this definitely you on PC? Like do you prefer PC or do you prefer console? Like what's your preference to them?
I will stay to PC. I will stay with PC. One thing I hated about the console was that you really have to take care of that. Like sometimes, if you're playing PlayStation and you have friends at home and at times there's a guy walking accidentally, he's gonna kick the PlayStation, and
Mm.
the laser's gonna get screwed up, and all of a sudden the whole PlayStation goes down. It doesn't work. So, uh, you know, it's easy to damage PlayStation. It's very easy to damage PlayStation, and unfortunately, I I don't remember that. I pretty much damaged every PlayStation that I had.
And the
Yeah,
controllers.
unfortunate. Yeah. Oh my God. These were going like one after another. If you lost, game in FIFA, then this thing was just going nuts. It was just smashed against the wall. But now at this point, also, finishing the MBA, I became a businessman, so it's easier for me to work on the PC. I do a lot of things on a printer. I need the printer. I need, couple screens to just on one screen I'm writing emails, on another screen I'm reading something, then I have a camera on the third screen, and like it's more convenient for me to have a PC, definitely.
Makes sense. And plus, you can work on it as you've said. You can work, you
Right.
can game, you can do everything. So you don't have to have like two different devices everywhere. So that totally makes sense to
Correct.
me. I'd be
and
the
and
same.
it's right, it's and then again, it's a huge I would say it's a mine of knowledge. I mean, if you want to learn something, then if you have a computer, then you can learn so much. And obviously, if you have good graphic card, and the all the mainframe and all that,
Mm.
if you have like a powerful computer, you can really do a lot of stuff and learn a lot.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, to be fair, for you as well, you speak quite a lot of languages from what I remember. So,
I spoke couple. I do speak Polish, English, Serbian, because I had a lot of Serbian people in my teams throughout my career, and I was able to say a few words in German, but not anymore.
makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. That I mean, for gaming wise, that's a large amount of players. There is so many in Poland. I come across a lot of Polish players. And quite a lot of German players, but I normally find the German players will speak English, Polish, Lithuanian, something like that as a second as well, or a third language. So it's going to be pretty
Would you
useful.
would you give us a good recommendation? Are we good? First of all, are we respectful when you play against Polish players?
Yes, I have no issues with them at all. I generally don't have any. Polish players are always very, very nice. The English that I find they speak is like very blunt type of thing. It's very like just one line type of thing, but they're very nice. Never have any issues with them. They're never mean or anything like that. They're just curious. Generally, they ask where you're from,
Right,
and
right,
they definitely struggle with my accent. But other than that, they're very very nice. They speak more American style English than they
right.
do speak English, so it's very very nice and sweet. So
Good,
Polish
good.
people are lovely.
That's a good news. That's a good, great opinion. I love it. We need to build that. We need to continue with that.
Yeah, I. Do you know what? I'm happy to hear you're opening. You have an esports like actual team over there and things like that because Poland's got so many
So
games as well.
we
CD Project
do,
Red.
yeah. So you know what? I'm really thinking about building an organization, but at the same time, as the owner of the league,
Yes, League.
it's a kind of a business conflict, because at the same time, if I own the league, if I'm partially owner of the league, and then I have my own organization, I'm going to obviously create a CS:GO department. I'm going to create Warzone department, and I'm going to create a couple different departments. It's going to be kind of hard to explain to everybody around, like, well, you know, everybody will be like, okay, why is your team getting all the green lights in your league? They are playing and they don't have to do anything. That's how most of the time it is.
Hmm.
Um,
Makes the same. It's the
so
same for basketball, isn't it? Same rules.
right. So I would just say, I'm gonna try to get out of this league, and I'm gonna try to sell my shares. And at that point, I'm gonna open up my own organization. I mean, LeBron James has one. LeBron James' son. If I'm not mistaken, he invests money in Team Liquid, if I'm
Ah,
not
yeah.
mistaken. So yeah, I'm thinking about maybe having one day having my own team also.
That's a fantastic idea. We're going to be looking out for it. We're going to be
Let's
looking out
go.
for it. Whenever it is, we're
You
going to be
got
looking out
you're
for it.
gonna be you're gonna be my first girl from Great Britain that's gonna help me to stream.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Well, you've got everything set up. You've got a great setup. You've got the green screen. You can stream whenever. You've got it. You've already prepared.
Hey,
Future proof.
hey, I got the stars on the sky, right? I got the on the
Exactly.
ceiling.
Exactly. You need to get a 360 webcam for the roof, and then people will just stare at it all day. That's what you'll find, because that's what I've got. So
Hey,
that's what you need.
you know what? I'll be so scared to have 360 cam. Like, you never know what the camera is watching, it was showing, and I could get in trouble with that easy. Trust me. I'm getting into trouble really easy, so I would really have to watch out, you know?
I get it. Yeah, you do. You definitely do. It's something you have to always keep an eye on as well when it
Right.
exists. So there is actually something I did want to ask you specifically on this one, because you're an NBA player and you've played for NBA professional basketball. You've played for a lot of huge teams. So you must have a lot of pressure, especially with, you know, coaching as well. Of course, that's a lot of pressure too. Games, we spoke about it earlier on, but games specifically, are they an escape for you? Have they been an escape for the other players? Like, is that what they use to get away from just the stress? Like, does it actually work to get away from stress, or does it cause more? Like, does it
No,
work?
actually, yeah, you actually right about that. I do know players that let me be honest with you. A lot of NBA players, and not only NBA players, but a lot of athletes, either soccer players, football players, baseball players, especially at a young age, when they coming home, they have two options. They either drink, which is not the greatest option because obviously after bad performance, you lower your testosterone and all the other stuff, right? But or you go play games.
Hmm.
You sit down at home and you meet with friends and you play games. I think this is the better option. I had time when I had a bad game. I will come home and my friend will be like, "Hey, there's another game in TV. Let's watch." I was like, "Dude, like the last thing I want to do right now is watch basketball. Let's just play Call of Duty and let me kick your ass. Let's just go one versus one, and let me kick your ass." And that would be uh, probably a better option. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people just to run away from daily routine,
Hmm.
from practices and traveling and the media exposure and just the just the daily daily stuff. Like, you go to the store, people recognize you. You go to the restaurant, people
Hmm.
recognize you, and you're basically tired of that. So yeah, you go into a gaming, you have your nickname, nobody knows you. You just random guy in a game, so you can enjoy the game and nobody will, if you don't have to listen, if you don't want to listen to people, you mute them and you just play game, have fun.
Hmm. Yeah, and your gamer tag is not the Polish Hammer. I'm very surprised. You mentioned this slightly
Yeah,
earlier. It's not that.
because again, they will know who they're playing again, and that's why my nickname is actually, I had two nicknames. Polish Hammer was the main one that came out, but later on, later throughout my career, I became also Polish Machine. I never been
Ah.
injured. I never been injured. I always was prepared great from the stamina standpoint. I was always great in the season. I always could run day and night. So people were saying, Jesus Christ, he's playing and running like machines. So that's what I became, a Polish machine. But again, you go to CS:GO, you go to the war zone, and all of a sudden you have a cool nickname, Polish machine, and you being killed on the first action. It's not fun.
They'll go for you. Yeah, they'll hunt you
Oh, they will
down.
chase. Yeah, they will go after me right away.
Totally understand that as well. I mean, if I seen somebody, I was like, oh, I wonder if that's them. I'm gonna go for them straight away. So yeah, that totally makes sense. And this one thing, because a couple people actually asked me to ask this. You're height wise, you're 6'11", aren't you? So you're like a giant.
Like 7 feet. Yeah,
Yeah,
giant.
that's absolutely insane. Even
Um,
for NBA standards and for like basketball standards, and like they're tall people,
oh, I'm
but not
big.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm big. And if you add to that, these 120 kilos, I'm pretty big dude.
Yeah. Have you been to a gaming event before?
All the time. In Poland, yeah, our league, the PLE, which is the Polish Esport League, we create every year we create an event. It's a final event where all the final games are being played.
Hmm.
And again, it's fun. You know how fun it is when you actually talking throughout the whole year. You're talking with guys on either Discord or TeamSpeak
Yes.
or throughout different channels, and the only thing you hear is his voice, right? And you have a great communication with him. You speak to him. The conversation goes well. um, and if he's not streamer, obviously you don't see the camera, you don't see his face. Then after a whole
Yes.
year you see him at the event. I say, hey man, can you come to the event? It will be great. Like, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna come over. And you meet the guy at the event and he's like 5 feet tall, like a little dude. Sometimes chubby guy, like he's like very, very young. I was like, oh my God, like I thought you were like 40 years old, the way you sound, the way you talk, like you have a deep voice. And there's a kid, basically 18, 20 years old, very tiny. I was like,
Yes.
I'm like, dude, your mom knows you here, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
this is
exactly.
great.
I wanted to know if there's reactions to you as if say,
Right.
"Oh my God," are they surprised?
Well, because they know who they
Oh,
playing with.
yes.
Most of the time they know that Polish machine. It's me actually, so they know. But yeah, sometimes there's this when we sitting in a group of 5, 6, 7 people on one chat, and one guy knows who I am, and he's asking me questions like, "Are you in America now or in Poland? Like, what you think about this game and this game?" And the rest of the guys is asking like, "Why are you asking him if he's States or Poland? Like,
Hmm.
who is he?" And he said, "Well, we're talking to Gortat, who he play in NBA." Everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's him!" Like, dude, we didn't expect we're gonna meet you here, playing CS:GO, for example. So yeah, it's fun. It's
It
fun.
makes sense. Yeah, it's like when they find out, they're like, oh, "Okay, so he is going to be tall," so they're not as surprised, which is
No, no, they
sense.
already know. Yeah.
It makes sense. Actually, you have. So I was gonna ask about your penguin character because you have a penguin in Sneak Out. Now I don't know if you had much design in that, but it looks like you. It's obvious it's you, right? Especially the goatee. What did you think seeing yourself in that game? Like, what was it like?
No, well, obviously it's great. It's fun, great. I'm honored to be part of this game, but again, you have to be good. And you know, I play Sneak Out a couple times. It's fun game. It's really fun game. You need to learn the movement. Obviously, it's not easy. You have to catch the movement, but you need to spend a couple good hours to learn the movement.
Mm,
But the game offers a lot of different things, and don't get to people that will play for the first time. Don't get discouraged because the game is fun. You just got to get to know everything in the game. You have to learn everything, and when you learn that, trust me, the game will be super fun. Uh, I've been playing. I've been in America, and I've been playing with my friends here in Poland. So, um, the connection between the continents, it's even possible, and it's not bad. And I love that part about that, because a few games you can play. If you're in America and I want to play with friends in Poland, sometimes it's impossible. But
mm,
this game offers you this opportunity to play.
that's true. Yeah. Do you play killer in it, or do you play the penguin? Like, which one do you prefer?
I try both. I try
Okay.
both. I like to be the penguin. I like to run away and do tasks. And the fun part is when the killer is coming up. He's coming after you, and you have to switch into chair, or like you know s- all of a sudden disappear. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Agreed. And actually, sort of brings me on to my next question because I know you haven't got a crazy amount of time, so I don't want to keep you too much. But I really want to ask this because it's always interesting, especially from like not sort of like because you're obviously an athlete as well. I've always wanted to know if you could spend any day, like say if you could spend a day in a video game, or if you could like maybe not be like, say you're transported into another world and it was a gaming world, what one would you pick? Because a lot of people will always just say like Pokemon or something cute, something sweet. But I've always found anybody who's into sports does something different generally. So what would you choose if you were to be in a video
Well,
game?
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about it for a while. So if I could be, I ain't gonna lie. I'm doing now after I'm playing after I'm done playing basketball. I'm doing also a lot of military stuff on a daily basis.
Okay.
I train a lot in military. I'm actually excited and I'm really admiring the special forces units that are actually fighting now in Ukraine. So I do a lot of training with them. So I would say I would love to be one of the guys from Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, or even
Okay.
Battlefield. Yeah, I really would like to know how to freaking kill like 100 players on one server. Like I really would like to know how to do that because knowing the game, I mean knowing the reality of shooting, knowing the reality of movement, and having the life, the bullet vest and all the ammo you carry, all the clips. Trust me, the movement, it's you're gonna run for 5 minutes and you're done, and you can't move anymore because you're basically exhausted. And people in Call of Duty are doing such a sick stuff sometimes. It's unbelievable. So maybe I would like to become one of these guys in Warzone. Uh, One friend told me it will be great. It will be a great to be the guy from GTA.
Oh yes. What's his name? I know who you're talking
Uh,
about.
so it will be great to be one of these guys too. Yeah, that will be pretty
Yes.
cool.
Wow, that's definitely different. Normally people pick worlds they're not going to die in, but you've picked a world that is chaotic and you're going to be respawning over and over again to win a match. Jeez, so yeah, that's what I mean by
That
like,
will be
yeah,
that will be that will be probably that will be interesting pick.
it's definitely interesting. 100%. That's a unique world. I would have probably just picked.
Who would you pick? Who would you pick?
Ooh. I would. I don't think I would say Pokemon, but I'd probably say Cyberpunk. So futuristic worlds, neon everywhere, as you can see, but Cyberpunk with the
Yeah,
cyborg arms and stuff like that. That's what I go for.
right.
Which is actually made in Poland, isn't it?
Yes,
Cyberpunk's
it's
made in
been.
Poland.
Well, it's yeah, it was made in Poland. I mean, the first game that came out. I mean, the recent model that came out had a lot of issues. I think if I'm not, if I remember correct, they had some issue. There was a error in the game.
Oh yes, not
Uh,
anymore. It's fantastic. It's one of the best games
yeah, I
ever
think
now.
they corrected. They had to correct it later on.
They did. It's if you ever get a chance to stream it, I would. It's insane. I finished it now. I streamed it all early last year. One of the best game comebacks ever as well because it's so good now and the DLC is fantastic.
How,
So
how much time took you to finish? How much time?
probably maximum of like 15, 20 hours ish. Depends on if you do the side missions, which I don't. So I just completed it without the side missions. So
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
I would recommend it. You would enjoy it definitely. There's a lot of like really great influence in it. But yeah, no, yeah, I've just realized the time, so I don't want to keep you anymore because I know you're obviously very busy.
I'm
Thank you
about
so
to
much.
jump into CS now.
Oh my god, of course you are. True gamer life. Thank you so much for
Sure.
joining us today. It was absolutely fantastic interviewing like an actual sports celebrity.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to meet you at the server somewhere. You know, either Call of Duty, Battlefield. You say what? CS? You play CS sometimes?
Oh no, I'm awful at CS. I have the same
Yes.
issue as you with CS. I play a Space Marines 2 at the moment. So if you play that, that's great. That's a really good
Okay.
game.
One day. One day.
We'll get you on it. We'll get you on it one of these times.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining today, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys. Take care.